In today's episode of Modern Combatives, we travel to the Windy City, yes sir, Chicago, Illinois, to get together with Miyama Ryu Jujutsu's Diane Wallander Shihan. After a long hiatus, we can't think of any better way to get back to doing what we do so well, bringing you folks top shelf martial artists. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Back in the day, many lifelong martial artists were exposed to the martial arts via the military. So it should come as no surprise that the origin of this martial arts system began, well, in the military, World War II to be exact. In 1942, a young American soldier, Antonio Pereira, was participating in a hand-to-hand combatives demonstration where, when ordered to punch one of his instructors in the face, when he complied, he only found himself wrapped up into a chokehold, so the story goes. But that's all it took to incentivize young Antonio Pereira to want to learn more. During his time in the war, Pereira would learn as much as he could about specialized combat methods. He continued to experiment and practice with various techniques, refining them sometimes under life and death situations. After returning back to the United States, Pereira Shihan began his quest to get additional martial knowledge, which took him to many different schools. In 1950, he began his formal study of judo. It was during that time he began to research how victims of crime were attacked and devised methods of practical self-defense. In 1960, he opened up a martial arts school on Tremont Ave in South Bronx, New York. He called this new system of fighting Kombado. But like with most martial artists, at some point there's a need to go back to the source, which led to a pilgrimage to Japan, where Pereira Sensei would observe practice at the Aikikai. It was during that observation he recognized many similarities to what he had been doing all along. This, of course, led to greater inspiration to refine what he was teaching and creating. So when he returned back to the United States to resume teaching at the Tremont School, knowing that the Western lifestyle and philosophies differ from the Eastern, he adapted the physical techniques and the mindset of the samurai warrior to the culture that is the South Bronx. He combined elements of judo, aikido, koryu, jujitsu, karate, and boxing. And finally, in 1964, he formally named his method into what we know as Miyama Ryu Jujutsu, which means School of Three Mountains in English, or Tremont in French. This was the avenue in which the school was located.
Yama Mountain Ryu School, the School of the Three Mountains. And if you notice, the name of the street in which the school now is situated is Tremont, which is what? Three mountains. The name of the system is what? The Three Mountain System. Simplicity in self-defense is a God-given word. Simplicity. If you're going to defend yourself, don't take a complicated move to do that with. All right? Have I said enough of myself? Thank you very much. Now then.
Fast forward to today, we find from one tree came many branches. And for this episode, we're focused on this branch right here. And it's because this branch created the phenomenal female martial artist known as Diane Wallander Shihan. One of the many things that I enjoy about doing the Modern Combative series is traveling. I mean, it doesn't really take much to get me in a car and get me all across this great country of ours. But knowing that I'm going to meet phenomenal martial artists and have time to reflect and see where they live and see what it's like to kind of walk in their shoes, it's just an overall blessing. Also, the excitement, the anticipation, even though we sometimes storyboard these episodes out, we don't know what the martial artists we're going to see are going to show us. So with that, there's a lot of excitement there. Our backup camera woman trying to hide from the shot. Carrie, we see you, and we know you're going to do a great job today. Man, listen, there is nothing like the distinct sound of ukemi being practiced. I'm a little giddy with excitement because you know she gonna turn it up.
Good morning. Izzy,
How
hi.
you doing? Hi, man. Oh, man, this is great. I'm happy to have made it here. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Beautiful Chicago.
Thanks for coming all the way out.
Oh, yeah. Yo, thank you for having me.
Very
Oh,
excited
man.
to
So
have
I'm
you
excited. I'm excited to get to see what I'm going to see today. And yeah, let's get right to it.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
8, 9, and 10. We're going to do Taisabaki, escape only. Escape only. Breathe in. Wait, 1, 2.
I began my martial arts journey in January of 1983 when I was a freshman at Northwestern University. There was a jujitsu program at the university, and I had sought out some form of self-defense because there had been several attacks on women on campus during my first semester there. So I went to see the jujitsu program and fell in love with it, and that was over 40 years ago.
9, and 10.
Taisabaki is the foundation of Miyama Ryu Jiu-Jitsu. Taisabaki translates from the Japanese simply as body positioning. And Shihan, the founder, Shihan Pereira, used to say, if you don't have Taisabaki, you don't have, well, I'm not going to say the word he used to use, but literally the foundation is everything. If you don't know how to move your body, if you don't know how to position your body, nothing else will follow from that. And that is the core principle of Taisabaki. All right, as the person grabs the hair from behind, you need to move quickly to trap that hand. One hand on top of the other. Push down on it as you drop your weight. Okay? You have to have this hand secure so they don't pull your hair back and your head back. From here, I'm going to rotate in by dropping my left foot out, and I'm going to roll up and in and raise up to pressure the wrist. Break the wrist if you can. As they release the hand, you're free to strike and roll in to your shoulder strap.
Do it.
the hair pull comes from the front, secure that hand on top firmly with the outside arm, the same side as the grab. As you drop your weight, strike here, here, loosen them up. Now I'm going to drive my right arm through and hook this elbow. The motion of the throw is to push my head forward as I pull that elbow back. Lock them up on the ground, and strike. So this is essentially a modified Shihonage throw.
Watching Diane Wallander's facial expressions and emotions go from peaceful and nurturing to ruthless, determined, to a kind of indomitable will that wants nothing more than to neutralize the perceived threat, I'm reminded of a quote from Bruce Lee from the movie Enter the Dragon.
We need emotional content.
You got that right, Bruce.
So, for whatever reason, women, when they get angry and attack another woman, tend to pull hair. It's sort of a cultural thing. I'm an anthropologist by training, so I think it has a lot to do with just the differences in how we're raised, and male, female, you could get into it for a long time. But the fact of the matter is that it's far more likely for a woman to pull another woman's hair in some manner during a conflict or a fight. And so it's really important for a woman who's had her hair pulled from any angle, from behind, the side, front, to stop that person from controlling their head and having their head snap back or their neck injured. And so the most important thing is to place your hands over the hand that has grabbed your hair and control that firmly. And then there's a number of techniques that flow from that.
We're going to work the overhand catch into the theater throw. So as the knife is coming to the stomach, I'm going to step lateral and clear that blade as I trap with the hands and arms here. Trap and jack those hips forward. Okay. Secure on the wrist, back fist straight up to the face. From here, grab with the other hand as I'm sliding through with my right leg underneath. Extend that arm all the way out so that when you pressure, you get that lock. If I'm shallow on this, I got a problem. I got a real problem, right? Got to roll in and sneak it in real tight. And pressure that elbow and wrist. Okay. From here, I'm going to slide my near leg right straight back as I extend my arms forward, throwing him to the ground. Hand on the elbow to lock up, remove the blade, and clear.
Let's see that again.
During my senior year in college, I had this internal trauma. My sensei, John Lewis, was a former Green Beret. Part of what his training was all about was very intense. He was a military man. Part of the reason why I wanted to train with him, because I knew what he would teach me. My father had been in the Navy. My father was a police officer, so I was very comfortable with people who were in law enforcement in the military. He wanted me to go into the Army. He was very, very heavily pushing me to go into the Army. And I really wanted to do something different. There was part of me that really wanted to go share and teach and be in another country, in another culture. And so it was a very difficult decision for me, going to the Army or going to the Peace Corps. And in the end, I decided to go into the Peace Corps. It was kind of always one of those sort of looks that he would give me. And when I came back from the Peace Corps, he did say, "I'm really glad you went to do that."
everybody is afraid of being strangled, of course, but women have a special terror about being strangled. Okay, so we're going to run through a strangulation scenario. The other thing that men attacking women will do is to try to subdue them, so there will be some kind of a strike or a hit so that they don't fight back. Okay? So we're going to do a one-handed strangulation with a slap or a punch to the face from there, and then we're going to utilize the wall as we defend ourselves. Okay? All right. So backed up in the wall. I'm in the elevator, somebody comes on. Not a good situation. I got a scumbag here. He decides he's going to go for it. The first thing I'm going to do is alligator up, right? Get those shoulders up, and get my chin down, right? Now I'm looking for what's coming next. I'm going to strike, but I see this coming, so I'm going to block it. Block it. Now, let's step back for a second. One technique I'm teaching women in my seminars that I'm finding is really successful is something I learned from you. Thank you very much, Nick. All right. And women are taking to it really well. So we do this in our Hapkido program here, and I'm putting it into all my seminars now. And that is when the block is coming, I just have them raise the palm up to the ear. And it is much easier to teach a woman that than to teach her a martial arts block. This she can do.
That is pragmatic and effective. Pay attention.
In a heartbeat, and learn it quickly and easily, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. Alligator up. If I got something coming, I'm gonna take a little bit of a blow, but it's not gonna really hurt me. From here, I need a strike. This is right here. Because now I can control the head right into the wall. First strike. Second strike, pivot around, and throw. Hoki-otoshi. I think I probably threw him into the elevator doors, so that's even better. Use the wall to do your striking, right? It's gonna hit harder than you, right? You're not gonna break your hand. Let's do one more time.
A good overhead view of some core principles being applied.
So in Miyama Ryu Jujutsu, we like to use the environment to help us in our defense. Whatever we have around us, we use it. If I have an umbrella, I'm going to use that to strike instead of with my hands. If I have a walking cane, I'm going to use that. If I have a wall, the wall is actually my friend. Most people think, I don't want to back up to a wall, I'm trapped. The way we think about it in Miyama Ryu is, now I have another weapon. And I also know there's nobody behind me.
I think last season we didn't give enough credit where credit's due. Sorry, folks, we didn't, but we're going to try to do better. We're always trying to do better. So, what's your name, sir?
My name's Nick Mahalik.
All right, don't tell me, tell them.
Hi, I'm Nick Mahalik.
You are?
Austin Sark.
Jeff Ronstadt.
Isam Yakub.
Hugo Ripstein.
All right. So once again, thank you. Chicago is awesome. We look forward to maybe coming back out, get another tutorial, maybe even seeing you at one of the events that are out there. So from us at the Martial, Barakyal, by the way, Barakyal Atsudoshi couldn't be here for this episode. He wanted to be, but we have our event coming up.
Yes.
So it's just, so it's just kind of like you couldn't get both of us here at the same time, but I was happy to come.
All right.
All right, so domo arigato. Thank you. All right, and you've been watching The Martial Maze, Modern Combatives.
Thank you.
Next week on Modern Combatives. Happy to be back in the swing of things, we travel to the Dragon's Lair, a martial arts sanctuary which is located in Bolton, Connecticut, to get together with Sean Cassidy Shihan of Westover School of Self-Defense. For those that don't know, Westover is a military base, which we might be starting a trend. Another can't miss episode, so see you next week.